What's going on? Hey, hey. All right, let me make sure we're going here. All right, looks like we are good. What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday. And, typically I like to just chill on Sunday and just look at all the news, what's happening and stuff, and just kind of spend time and not do much of anything. But man, this is really explosive. Can I use that word? Can I say that? It's really explosive what is happening right now. I mean, it's almost like we're seeing the Biden administration just crumble. I mean, and the liberal left, the honeymoon is over with. Let me say that the honeymoon is over, and they are done. They're pretty much done. Well, for the most part, because what you don't know is that the liberal media, they're still kind of like they're talking about this because they're trying to act like they're on top, on the up and up, like they're trying to address the issues, like they're not being in the dark, but they still are. They're only talking about it because, like I said, they want people to believe that they're investigative reporting, which they're not. But the honeymoon is over with as far as Joe Biden. And this is such a huge scandal against Joe Biden. And to see this happen right now, I mean, you still have to think about the timing, right? A lot of people think that this is happening with Joe Biden because they're doing something else behind behind closed doors, or they're trying to distract us from something else. And if you know what that distraction is, you tell me, because we're like literally on the verge of nuclear war because of what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. And I don't know if they're doing this with Joe Biden to try to distract from what's happening over there, because I personally, I don't think they care if we know. Just like this with Joe Biden, I don't think that they care that we know. I think they're going to go even further about all this stupid stuff that they're doing. So I want to share some stuff with you, because last night I did a video and I talked about the National Archive that apparently Joe Biden had top security documents, highly classified documents, while he was still senator, and he never turned those documents over. And my question is how come they never turned those documents over? Right? Everyone should be asking that question. Why didn't the National Archives go to Joe Biden, or even go to the Obama administration and said, hey, your VP has classified documents that he did not turn in while he was a senator? To help your administration, we recommend that you have Joe Biden hand those documents back over. They could have done that at the dark of night. We would have never known about it today. But that never happened. And my question last night, I was asking, is the National Archives corrupt too? Because they never brought it up at all, to my understanding. If you have information of the National Archives actually reaching out to Joe Biden, let me know. Because even if they did reach out to Joe Biden, he never did hand over the documents, that brings up another problem. While he was not in office, why didn't his home get raided, right? So it's like it's a catch-22 for them either way, because the National Archives did not do their jobs. Well, this is another thing too. When you look at top security documents, to my understanding, I'm not a politician. I never had access to look at these highly classified top documents myself. But to my understanding, they are supposed to go into a room and look at these documents, and they don't even take them with them. Or if they receive the documents, there's someone there, they read the document and take it away. You remember Hillary Rodham Clinton? Hillary Clinton said that they would bring the documents to her, and she would read it, and then she would sign off saying that she actually read it, and then they would take the classified document away. Do you remember that? Do y'all remember that? I remember that. Maybe I just, it's just certain things I do remember. A lot of things I don't remember, but I do remember that. Well, listen to this one. I do have some clips that I want to share with you here as well. And I want you to listen to this, because he actually talks about how him being in the Senate, how he had access to looking at these documents. And he straight up would talk about that he would have to go into a room and look at these documents, and then that was it. He could not take them with him. So my question is how did Joe Biden take these documents with him, right? How did he take them with him? Can someone let me know? Watch this.
Senator, yesterday, for the fifth time, we learned about this other tranche of classified information being kept at the president's personal residence. How does a senator accidentally take classified material home?
That is the question. How does a senator accidentally take classified documents home? How does that happen? And who was president when he was senator? Bush, Clinton, right? Because this was talking about 36 years. 36 years. Come on. We're talking about the establishment Republicans. We're talking about establishment Democrats. He was there when they were there. So the National Archives didn't do their jobs then. Watch, listen.
Margaret, I don't really know the answer to that question because I review classified material as a senator on the Armed Services and Foreign Relations committees. But when I do it, it's always in a classified facility where I don't have access to the materials other than to sit there and read them. So that's why there needs to be this independent investigation, an independent prosecutor. How many documents are we talking about? Dozens, a handful, or hundreds? How serious are they? Why were they taken? Did anyone have access to them?
And one of the questions is exactly how many documents are we talking about? Because you remember with President Trump, they kept saying it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of documents. Well, that wasn't even true. When it come out, it was 160 documents because they make sure they count them. And the liberal media, they'll regurgitate the 160 when it's convenient. But other than that, they'll say it was hundreds and hundreds of documents. But in this case, they're not even really releasing exactly how many documents that Joe Biden actually had. And why not? And then on top of that, did Hunter Biden look at these documents? And they just found out more documents this Friday. And what was really interesting to me is that when they went to Biden's home, Biden went to his other home, and the DOJ didn't go to his other home. And to my understanding, that they're waiting until the Biden regime says, okay, now you can come search the other home. So while the DOJ is actually finding documents at the first crime scene, I guess the Biden administration and his lawyers and his aides maybe cleaning up the other crime scene before the DOJ gets there. I mean, make it make sense. Listen to this one. Now, some of these, you're listening to these with the first time with me as well. But this one I have titled, this one's like all these locations. And this is apparently from Joe Biden's spokesperson, right? This is one of Joe Biden's spokesperson. I guess he's new. I hadn't seen him before, but listen to what he says. And this is all them trying to cover this up. They're trying to cover it up.
Can you give us a sense of how many classified documents we are now talking about total across all three locations?
Sure, it's a good question. And actually, the answer to it is a little bit complicated because of this point that I'm making about the integrity of an ongoing Justice Department investigation. The Justice Department is going to be looking at all sorts of questions like that throughout their investigation. We want to be very, very careful to be respectful of the integrity of that investigation, to not speak too much about the underlying contents and materials, especially things that we may not know all the answers.
You hear this? He doesn't want to answer any questions. I mean, he really wants to act like it's not even an issue here. It's like, well, they're telling the same old story. Well, the Biden administration has been cooperating or Biden has been cooperating. There's really nothing pressing here. Why is everyone making this a big deal? Why is everyone making this out to be a big deal? They're constantly saying this. And now they have additional documents, and we're supposed to be silent about it. Now, the honeymoon is over with, like I've said multiple times. The honeymoon is over with. And how many more documents? Because I have a vanilla folders, and I just put papers in there. I print them out myself, and I put top secret on them. And I said, up to 5 of them. And when I made the 5, I had no idea that they were going to get up to 5, but now it's above and beyond 5 different locations. And they're actually finding them in odd locations. It's really weird. It's really bizarre. If this was anybody else, they would be trying to arrest him, especially if it was President Trump. If President Trump's children had any access to these highly classified documents and they didn't have the security clearance, they'd be trying to arrest President Trump right now today. Listen to this one.
Ian, does the White House expect additional searches at the president's other properties?
Well, I think it's important in this instance to take a step back and understand exactly what's happened here. From day one, the president has committed to full cooperation with the Justice Department as it looks at this matter.
You hear this? He's saying that the Biden regime Biden has been cooperating the entire time. And they never did come out with this information until January, until this month. They already knew about it last year. How was that cooperating? The federal government literally hid this information from the public eye because they didn't want this scandal to come out before the midterm election because they knew that it would hurt the Democrats. All this other stuff they were blaming. Remember in Georgia how they were going after Herschel Walker? Remember that? And how they were making up these lies about other people. But then they were even making up these lies about President Trump, how they raided President Trump right before the midterms. But then they left this under the rug because they didn't want people to know about it.
He has proactively offered access to his home to the Department of Justice to conduct a thorough search. That occurred yesterday, as you saw in the statement from the president's personal attorney, lasted about 13 hours, went through his entire house and found some additional material. And the reason that that's happening is because he's not resisting an investigation.
Okay, so basically he's saying that the reason why this is happening is because Biden is not trying to fight the DOJ. Well, how come the DOJ didn't go in there day one when they found out about this last year? Why didn't the DOJ go in there and find information? Why didn't the FBI raid his home last year? Why did it wait until now, until they got clearance to go in there, until Biden's lawyers and his aides were able to go through the documents and find out any other information that was there? Because I guarantee that they actually found more information in his home before the DOJ, the FBI showed up. Before they showed up, and then they got rid of those papers and those documents. I'm telling you, even if it's something that they didn't get from the National Archives, from the classified security team, I'm willing to bet that there's probably other stuff that was probably incriminating that they want to dispose of it before they showed up. And I don't even really trust the DOJ and the FBI at this point. If they come in there and they find other documents that's going to be damaging to the Biden regime, do you think that they're going to be forthcoming? Do you think that they're going to be transparent in the information that they have? I don't think so. Listen to this nut job here, because he actually was going off about President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. And let me remind you one more time. When they were going after President Trump at Mar-a-Lago, the National Archive knew exactly what was at Mar-a-Lago. The FBI was at Mar-a-Lago looking at the documents. They told President Trump to go ahead and put an extra padlock on the door so that no one would have access to it. President Trump did that, and the FBI left. This was before they raided President Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago. So they already knew what was there. And then when they knew about Joe Biden, they didn't do anything. They didn't even show up. Nothing. They was like, okay, you turned them over. Okay, you're cooperating. That's it. Nothing to see here. But listen to this one.
I want to play something that you said last year about the classified documents found at his Mar-a-Lago resort.
It's an outrage. It is a literal outrage for the president to take this important information down to his home in Florida and then store it in a closet with traffic, people back and forth in his resort and golf course is an outrage.
Is it also an outrage for the current president to have what appears to be multiple classified documents in multiple locations?
Is it an outrage? Is it an outrage? Do you think he's going to say, yes, you know what, this is an outrage as well? Do you think, because that's, if he's going to be fair, if he's going to say what's the right thing, he's going to say, yes, it's an outrage as well. Well, it wasn't an outrage for President Trump. Because again, the National Archives, they put him there. But it wasn't an outrage for President Trump. It actually wasn't. They knew what he had. But in this case, after 36 years of Joe Biden being in the Senate, You mean to tell me that Joe Biden didn't have a clue on how to handle top security documents? Did him and Hillary Rodham Clinton get together and do this? This doesn't make a lick of sense. It is total BS. Now listen to his response.
At its heart, the issue is the same. Those documents should not have been in the personal possession of either Joe Biden or Donald Trump.
He said at the heart, it's the same. No, it's actually not. It's not the same. It is not the same. Biden was never president. He was VP. He was a senator. It is not the same. President Trump could declassify documents. It's not the same. They knew what President Trump had. It's not the same.
But what happened and followed from it is significantly different.
What's different about it? I'm going to tell you what's different. What's different is that Joe Biden had these documents for over 10 years. He's had these documents for over 10 years, and guess what? They're all trying to act like this is nothing. There's nothing there because he's cooperating. He's cooperating. Really? He's cooperating? Listen to his spokesman again.
But then if the oversight...
And before I go on, before I continue with this one, they're literally calling this like a conspiracy now. You know how I told you that the liberal media, they're all trying to say, you know, they're trying to act like they're tough on Joe Biden, but now his spokesman is calling this all a conspiracy. Like Joe Biden doesn't actually have these documents. Like these documents aren't showing up. Listen, you can't make it up.
So then if the Oversight Committee tries to knit together a quilt that includes Hunter Biden, these classified documents, as Chair Comer said on PBS the other night, influence peddling by the Biden administration. Is that something, this effect to connect the dots that way, would that be an investigation that the administration would take seriously?
What do you mean connect the dots? Did they forget that the actual Hunter Biden laptop was actually real? It's not fake. Did he forget that Hunter Biden was dealing with all these foreign countries? That's not fake. That's real. And these people are still trying to act like the FBI didn't know about Hunter Biden when the FBI was going to big tech companies, preventing you and I from talking about the truth. The FBI was actually preventing known, credible news organizations from even talking about the truth because they were having the tech companies suspend the accounts of these credible news organizations.
Well, we'll see what they're going to do. I mean, I think that they can say a lot, put out a lot of press releases, do a lot of media interviews, but we'll take a look at the letters that they send. We'll take a look at their actual investigative actions, and we'll respond to the Congress as appropriate. I think that it's just very clear that a lot of these things are rooted in false conspiracy theory.
What's the conspiracy? What is the conspiracy? You know, they say stuff all the time, but they never actually come out and give examples on where the conspiracy is. This is them deflecting. That's like a whole CIA tactic. A CIA tactic to get people to believe that this story is not even real. So now what? Now I guess now the fake fact checkers are to come out and said Biden never had any documents. This is misleading, missing content, false news. Is that what they're going to say? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because that's exactly what the fake fact checkers have been doing in the past. You talk about factual stuff and the fake fact checkers will find anything, any excuse to come out there and flag your post, flag whatever it is that you're putting out there saying that it's not true when it's blatantly true. You even have the liberal media talking about it. But of course, the fake fact checkers, the third party fake fact checkers, they'll still try to fact check something to say, well, it's misleading. It's missing content. How do I know? Because they do it to me all the time. They do it to everybody all the time. And people are sick of it. Listen to this one. Here's another one with this dude. You can't make this stuff up. Listen to this, because this one they're talking about Joe Biden after 36 years. What was he thinking, right? What was he thinking? Let alone in the garage. What was he thinking?
So, Ian, my question is, again, because some of these papers are found that are related to the president's tenure as vice president, and even going back to his 36 years in the United States Senate, a lot of people are wondering, how is that possible? There are rules in place for the handling of classified documents. So how is he in this situation?
How does he end up in this situation? Because the corruption is so bad in the government, the federal government, that no one thinks twice about it. I'm willing to bet that Obama probably has documents as well. And I'm waiting for them to raid Obama's home. When are they going to raid Obama's home? Don't you think it's a reasonable response for them to raid Obama's home? Can I get a show of hand of people who think that they should raid Obama's home? Because, hey, I'm willing to bet he has something. But, you know, with all this going on, and, of course, Obama is completely silent. You haven't heard nothing about him. And like I constantly say, Obama loves the camera. He loves the media. He loves the attention. He loves when they go out there and they stroke his ego. He loves it. But he's eerily silent right now. Why is that?
Well, I think you heard the president's lawyers speak to this exact fact, and you heard the president speak to this fact. You know, he was made aware of this by his lawyers, and I think that there's a really important distinction here. You know, he is proactively cooperating here because he takes it seriously. He wants the DOJ to conduct a thorough review.
Really? He take this seriously? After 36 years of being in the Senate, 8 years of being a VP, and he had these documents. And again, the National Archives, which I don't hear anybody in the mainstream media asking about the National Archives. Why didn't no one in the National Archives reach out to Joe Biden about these documents? How come they didn't say anything? Why is it just like only with President Trump? I mean, it's really a valid question. They should be asking maybe Karine Jean-Pierre can answer that question. Can you tell us why the National Archive never reached out to Biden? Or did they reach out to Biden? And if they did reach out to Biden, when was that? And how come Biden didn't respond to him? And how come Biden still had the documents if the National Archives reached out to him? And if Biden never gave the National Archives a response to the documents that he had, how come they didn't get the FBI involved at that point when he was not in office? Because, you know, there was a time right before President Trump, you know, right after President Trump, you know, remember after Obama and the Hillary Rodham Clinton? You know, there was a time President Trump was in office. Biden was not in office. So how come they didn't ask for the documents during that time? It's double standards 100%. Listen to this one. There's another one from him talking about where Joe Biden didn't have any regrets. He didn't have any regrets of the criminal activity that he's been doing. And of course, this guy here makes an excuse for it.
Let me ask you about the president's own words. He has said no regrets on this matter. What does he mean when he says no regrets?
Sure. Well, I think it's really important to take the soundbite and understand the context. He was asked a question by a reporter about the disclosure publicly of this information. You know, I think that he was asked specifically, do you regret not disclosing this information to the public earlier?
You know, because they knew about it in November of last year. Do you regret? And Joe Biden says, no, I have no regrets. Why? Because it helped out the other Democrats in the midterm election. Why would we release that information? Have no regrets. Of course, he's not going to have any regrets. But this guy, he just makes another excuse for it.
And I think that the answer, and of course he said he had no regrets, and the answer is because he's been promptly, his team, his legal team, has been promptly disclosing information to the proper authorities as a part of an ongoing investigation.
But that's not the question. The question is that they didn't let the public, they didn't let the people know until after the midterm election. They purposely hid this information because they didn't want you to know about it. They didn't want their constituents to know about it. They didn't want the country to know about it because then they would be asking all these questions, and they had to do everything they can to protect Joe Biden and the crime family. You know how I keep saying that the honeymoon is over with? The honeymoon is over? Well, yeah, of course, the honeymoon is over. Listen to this one. This one's pretty interesting.
Private office in Washington, D.C. But this morning, it turns out there is even more there than first thought. Federal investigators from the Department of Justice seized more than half a dozen items from the president's Wilmington home on Friday, including some documents marked classified, after an extensive but consensual 13-hour search of the property. The president's personal lawyer disclosed the information last night, saying some of the records were from Biden's time as senator and some from when he was vice president. The search of a sitting president's home dramatically escalates the political fallout, if not the legal problems, after the White House consistently tried to downplay the significance all week.
You hear this? This is ABC. This is ABC talking about Joe Biden downplaying this. This is ABC, the liberal media. And as I've been saying this quite often here lately, the only reason why they're doing this now is because they were protecting Joe Biden, and then all of a sudden they're looking stupid because they were protecting the Biden crime family. You know, especially with the Hunter Biden laptop, they were all saying that was Russian propaganda. Y'all remember that? They all were saying it. Every liberal media outlet was saying it was Russian propaganda. And come to find out, it wasn't Russian propaganda. It was actually true. Just like Hunter Biden, like father, like son. Like father, like son. Hunter Biden hopped up on crack, and he forgets that he leaves a laptop that's full of documents at a computer store and don't even remember where he left it at, probably because hopped up on crack when he did it. He left documents on that laptop, and then Joe Biden, he leaves documents in various places as well. I don't know if he was hopped up on crack as well, but something is going on, like father, like son. This is the exact same thing. And that's probably why, Joe Biden, he was covering up for Hunter Biden so much crap, so much dirt, talking about the scandals. You can't even make up all of the scandals that they're doing. You really can't. Listen to this one.
Has the FBI searched the president's home in Rehoboth, Delaware?
So I'm going to be very careful here not to speak ahead of potential investigative steps by the DOJ. We're in full cooperation with them. The president's lawyers, White House counsel's office, we're being totally cooperative with DOJ as they move ahead on this. So I want to be very careful not to talk about potential investigative steps. But I think it's important to know that, the president's lawyers are talking with DOJ, are being cooperative as they ask for material or information. And that's going to continue. That's consistent with the president's commitment from the very beginning.
So what I'm hearing here is that he's basically saying that the Biden regime is cooperating with the DOJ, but the Biden regime, to my understanding, this is what I'm hearing. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But what I'm hearing is that the Biden regime is telling the DOJ, allow us to go in here and clean up all of this other stuff. Let's clean it up, and then we'll let you come in. Did they give President Trump the same courtesy? Did they give President Trump the same courtesy before they raided his home? Now, remind you, the FBI showed up again at President Trump's home. And President Trump, you know what President Trump told him when the FBI showed up the first time? Take whatever you want. Take it all. President Trump told them to take whatever you want. Take it all. But they didn't take it all. They purposely left stuff there for the raid. So there will be something there for the raid.
So then you're not going to answer the next question, which was, has the White House already given DOJ access to that house now that the Wilmington search has been completed?
You hear this? Have they given him access? Because apparently Joe Biden is at his other home. And I'm telling you, they're there right now going through any documents that they have there that they can get out of sight, out of mind before the DOJ shows up at the second home.
Well, so I think the statements that the president's personal lawyers put out last weekend, for example, noted that they have been in coordination with DOJ throughout this search process. Those are discussions that are happening between the personal lawyers and the DOJ. We want to be really careful not to speak ahead of any of those steps.
Of course, they want to be really careful not to speak up, ahead of those steps. I think the cat is out the bag. I think everyone is completely aware now of how the corruption has been going on. Even to the point now where the liberal media is even talking about it. They're still trying to figure out how they can protect the Biden crime family. They're still trying to figure that out. They're still going through the motions. But this is so bad. How many of y'all think that the Biden crime family is compromised? How many of you think Joe Biden is compromised? Anybody? I personally think that Biden is compromised. And what's more interesting, that it's not the Republicans releasing this information. It was Democrats. It was people from within the Democrat Party releasing this information. And you have some Democrats going out there saying the timing of all this, like the Republicans were doing it. But if it were the Republicans doing it, like I mentioned before, they would have released it back in November before the midterm election. Why would Republicans wait until after the fact? Well, it was probably Rhino Republicans. Probably why would rhino Republicans release it now? Let me give you an example. You ever heard of the Lincoln Project? Nothing but rhinos. They call themselves Republicans, and they're not. They are the opposite. They're trying to change what Abraham Lincoln was all about. Complete opposite. If they were the ones that had the information, they would have kept it under wraps as well. So it's not the rhino Republicans. It's not the Republicans, right? It is the Democrats that's releasing this information. Because I'm telling you, the rhino Republicans would have never released it. Just like the Democrats didn't release it in the beginning. But then they started releasing it because they want to get rid of Joe Biden. They have to push Joe Biden out. And one of the questions I have is who they want to replace Joe Biden with. Because to my understanding, a lot of people, they don't like Kamala Harris. They already don't like Kamala Harris. They really don't. They really don't. Patriots Force USA, thank you so much. I see you there on YouTube. Thank you so much for sponsoring my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Just looking over here. Let me see. Wow. Pamela, thank you so much for the stars. Maria, thank you so much for the stars as well. Let me see. Nancy, thank you so much. Rockin', thank you so much for the stars. These are stars I'm talking about. Pamela, again, or I think that might have been different Pamela. Thank you so much for the stars. I really do appreciate it. And let me say thank you to Mandy, Alan, Hillbilly, Rose. Wow, thank you so much, Rose. Denise, Mickey. These are people that shared it. John, thank you so much. Yvonne, thank you so much. Charlie. Let me see some more. Alan, thank you so much for sharing. Tammy, thank you so much. Rebecca, thank you so much for sharing it on Facebook. YouTube doesn't let me know. It's just a share button on YouTube. You just copy the link and then you text and then you share it someplace. But if you did share the link on YouTube, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. It's just Facebook will show me that data. They'll show me who actually shared it. So this was just me. I wouldn't plan on coming on live tonight, but I really wanted to kind of talk about some of this stuff. You know what? Let's do this. Let me see if I can do this from here. We'll see if we can give this a try. Okay. Yeah, I think I can. All right. Does anyone want to give me a call and tell me your thoughts about the the Biden crime family, with these Biden docs? I can I can work my phone system. I'm gonna take I'll take one or two calls. So here, let me put the number up on the screen here for you. For those of you that want to call me. Let me see here. All right. I'm gonna put the number. I just put the number in the chat there. And I'm going to put it on YouTube as well. Okay. Yep. I just put the number in both of them, Facebook and YouTube. And if you want, because I'm kind of curious, just really curious. Hey, Joe, thank you so much for the super chat. And Joe says, I know I'm late, but I'm here always for you. Joe, he goes by Joe Brandon. Yeah. I don't think that's his real name, obviously. But thank you so much for that super chat. Thank you so much. All right. And I'll take a couple phone calls here if anybody calls me. But if not, I'll just sit here and chill by myself. All right. Look like we got a couple people starting to call in here, looks like. All right. I did put the number in the chat. No, I'm not live on Rumble. I didn't go on Rumble tonight. Did not go on Rumble. Let's see. All right. All right, I'm gonna take a couple of these phone calls. So, like I said, I put the number in the chat if you want to call me, because I want to know. I'm really curious on what you think. So let's go to Dan from Michigan. Here, hold on. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Will, how you doing?
Man. So what do you think?
Been a while.
Yeah, this is wild. So what do you think? They get more documents come out, and they expect us to just ignore it, right?
Well, I don't know if you've seen this or not. I seen an article not too long ago. Democrat, I want to say his last name was Kuhn. He's saying how much of it is this is an outrage, and he's up there. Biden's getting away with it because when they raided Trump, they had a warrant. All these ones that they're doing for Biden, they don't have no warrant.
Right. Yeah, because Biden is actually, giving them the okay when they can go in and look at it, and this is after his aides and the FBI.
But still, they don't have no warrant. They're pulling stuff out. They can't use it as evidence.
Oh, that's a really good point too. So it's not admissible in court. They can't use any of it because they didn't have a warrant when they actually looked at it. So there's another setup. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And one last thing for you. Can you fix your closing credits? You have a big mistake in it.
In my closing credits?
Yep.
Okay, I will take a look at it.
Okay. We'll talk to you later.
I appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Well, I had another person in there, and they kind of dropped off. Am I scary? Maybe so. I don't know. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here then. Hey, thanks, everybody. Thanks so much for sharing. Thanks so much. Joe put another super chat in there. Joe, I got what you meant. I know you were talking to me. Thank you so much. Joe Brandon. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. All right. I'm going to get off of here, everybody. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you on the flip side. Oh, wait a minute. Someone else just called me. Okay, I'm going to take it. I think people are still on here. Look like we have a new caller. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
John, Ohio, bub.
John from Ohio. What's going on, John? Tell me what you think.
I just had a thought. Well, I seen something the other day. I don't know if you know him or not, Pete Santilli. He had a video on there, and Joe Biden was literally taking this little girl and rubbing her breast.
He was saying Joe Biden what?
He had a little girl. He was rubbing her breast. It's on Facebook too.
I've seen that video. That's a couple years old. I've seen that.
Oh, it's a couple years old. I didn't. That's the first time I've ever seen it. I was like, oh man, that's crazy. I mean, they're just getting downright bold. They're apparently already been bold. And he's got to go. He's got to go. Yeah. I mean, Kamala's got to go too, because we can't have her there either.
Maybe possibly they're doing this to Joe Biden before the impeachment comes up.
Yeah, I think they're doing it. I think they're going to do it to Joe Biden, but I think they're going to do it to President Trump too, because they said, "Look, we did it to Joe. Now we can do it to Trump." Not knowing that, President.
That is quite possible.
Yeah, but the difference is President Trump was allowed to have them. Joe was still on out there, man. And think about the helicopter flight the other day when they went to the hospital. They snuck around all that day. They had that P6 down there trying to capture them. And all at once, that comes across that they found documents there. I think they flew over there and got out and grabbed a bunch of documents and hid them. I think there's lots more important ones.
Why haven't they looked at his
that's what I was saying. I think they got rid of the extremely incriminating documents before the DOJ showed up.
Yep. I agree with you. Well, I agree. And I tell you, I agree with you all the time because you're on it. You know what I mean? There's only a couple of people on here I watch and bleed, man. And you're it.
Well,
you're top of every home, though.
Well, hey, I greatly appreciate it. And thanks for the call, John.
Hey, you're welcome, man.
All right, take care.
God bless.
God bless. Okay. All right, the phone line is open. I see people. I don't know if there's an issue with the phone system here or not, but I see people joining in and then they're like going back out. And I've actually changed it to where you just call in and it brings you right into the call. So there's no waiting, there's no hesitation. Sure you're not scared to talk to me? No, not me. But the number and Search and Destroy, one of my mods on YouTube actually put the number back in there if you want to call. Actually, I can let me put it down here as well. I'm going to give you a little bit more time here. I won't jump off just yet. Let me see. Let's see. I think there's a way I can. Yep, here we go. I'm going to, my little ticker down at the bottom, I'm going to add, I think I can add the number down there too. Okay, yep, I just did it. Okay, yep, I put the number in the bottom at my little ticker down there. All right, looks like we have another call. And let's see. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Ben. I'm calling from Amarillo, Texas.
Ben from Texas. What's going on, Ben? So tell me, what do you think about the Biden docs?
I mean, after what we went through with Trump in Mar-a-Lago, I'm kind of surprised that, I'm kind of wondering, how did it take them so long, actually, especially for the National Archives, to realize that those documents been missing for 30-some years?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, that's why I was raising the question when he was with Obama. How come not or did they? And you know, if they did go to Joe Biden when he was with VP with Biden, and if he said no to the documents, how come they didn't raise this whole issue like they are with President Trump? Right?
Exactly. I mean, and then the fact that the media, the liberal media, kind of join in, for me, it's a little bit suspicious. I'm just saying we're probably, I don't know if they're just trying to get away of him or they're trying to find an excuse to say, you see, we did that to our own guy, so Trump won't have any chance. They'll probably just show him alive, you know? So...
Yeah. I think personally, I think they're just doing a cover up, right? I think they're helping, like I'm constantly saying, they're helping the Biden crime family. They don't want, they're going to do everything they can because this still represents the Democrats, and it shows how corrupt they are because it's double standards.
Exactly.
It's double standards, 100%.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just the part that I wanted to point out that the National Archive didn't know. They were missing documents for all these years. You know, they were kind of quick to run to Mar-a-Lago, you know, with the full arsenal of FBI and everything else you can count on, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I've been raising that question for days now. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, Ben, thanks so much for the call.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. Appreciate it.
All right,
and for the show.
Take care. All right, let's go we got Mandy from New Zealand. Hey, Mandy.
Hey, Will, how are you? Just listening to that gentleman. Look, so we've got to first of all go back in time and hold Obama accountable because he would have given the slip for Biden to be able to do this because Biden can't just get these docs. It would have been with handling of some sort through Obama. But again, everything comes back to Obama. The fact that he didn't prevent the gain of function leaving America, you know, his hands and that are over a lot of this stuff. He's left his fingerprints absolutely everywhere.
You know, I've been saying that. I've been saying that since the first set of documents came out, Mandy. I've been asking, where's Obama? How can someone get a statement from Obama? Can we hear something? There should be something there. And did the National Archive reach out to Obama's administration saying, hey, your VP, Joe Biden, has classified documents that he hasn't turned in. Can you get them to turn them in? And if Obama's aware and it never happened, that brings up another can of worms, right?
Well, those documents were Obama's responsibilities. So he should be held as culpable on these documents now as Biden, because he was the president at the time.
I've been saying that.
Yeah, let's look at what the documents were. Were these outlying where these other labs happened to be that they were worried that Trump might close down? Is plausible, you know. So we went into the Trump regime with politically a major threat on America because these docs were withheld. And we have actually seen weaponry being used not just against America, but a fallout around the world. And did these docs contain something that could have helped prevent that? See, bioterrorism, and it's got Biden and Obama's hands all over this. It's me speculating, yes, but, you know, you got to weigh the plausibilities up. And it's all hitting the mark right now, which is not bizarre, but, yeah, anyone who's awake can see this.
Yeah. Well, anyone with brain cells can see this. Right?
Wow. Yeah, there is that.
And that's where the problem comes in.
Absolutely. So, in a lighter note, yes, my Jacinda Ardern has left government. The street is saying that she got served. I do not believe that for a razoo. I believe a plausible new agency might be getting formed because they do this every so often. And I think we're in that generation when they're going to take the young leaders, global leaders, into a new agency. So that's my theory. So keep an eye out for that with everything we know that's going on with Davos and so on. So I just want to keep an eye on that. And the person who's taken her place here is actually one of her very, very, very long-time good socialist, communist friends who went through the Ushi movement with her. So nothing's changed in our country. We've just got another dictator at the realm. We'll just see how he rolls the dice for the next 10 months, you know, as we go to our elections.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the going thing around the world. Just put in a dictator. I'm pretty sure you've seen what's happened in Brazil, right? I mean, that's the going thing. And all the liberal left, they're like siding with all these dictators, and they're the first ones to scream, "We don't want a dictator," because remember they were calling President Trump a dictator. They don't, but now all of a sudden they actually want an actual dictator. But that's the way the left operates.
Well, look, I look at Trump like the brash daddy. You wait till your father gets home; he's going to swat your ass.
Well, there, you know what? There needs to be some good discipline. There really needs to be some good discipline because a lot of people are lacking that.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we do need brash moments where we're awoken to the facts. And we've not had brash moments from our political parties apart from Trump. You know, he's not been authoritarian. He's just been straight to the point and brash. You're going to touch that, you're going to burn yourself, you know. And we need that from time to time, even as adults. We become uncouth and, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here? Anyway, we just become too comfortable in our ways and we forget to just do things sometimes ourselves or hold ourselves in check. And we need somebody like Trump. It's not putting Trump on a pedestal. It's not necessarily about liking Trump.
Right.
It's liking perspective it comes from.
Exactly. 100%. Well, hey, Manny, thanks so much for the call.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, you too. Okay. So I see someone in the comments said that they're getting hung up on. They're saying that my mod Lori hung up on them. Well, Lori can't hang up on you, so you need to dial the number and make sure you dial the correct number. And if you can't get through, there's something wrong with your phone, or something wrong with your phone service, because you should get through. Everyone else is getting through. I don't hang up anybody. I used to take phone calls, and I used to ask the trolls to just, I used to ask for only trolls to call in. Sometimes I used to do that. I'm not saying that you're a troll. I'm not saying this person is a troll. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I used to ask for trolls to call in. So, and I would take their calls, is my point. And I don't hang up on anybody, unless you just call in, you start cursing and carrying on, and then it becomes an issue. And then, it's kind of obvious. Okay, so the number is there. Anybody want to give me a call? Really awesome callers here. Really awesome callers. So there's the number. I have the number down in the ticker as well, if you want to give me a call. If not, I'm going to go and do some extra stuff. Get ready for what's coming next. All right? Anybody? I'm leaving the phone line open just here a little bit longer, so because I know it's like a 30-second delay before people get the video coming on their side. I don't know why it's such a long delay, but it is what it is. All right. Let me see here. Let me say thank you. I saw someone else did a star. Now, one young lady said that she was having a problem, that she was getting blocked from doing stars. I'm not sure why that is the case. And if you see that kind of issue, please take a screenshot, send it to me. That's because if you don't send it, I can try to reach out and say, hey, there's an issue, because I don't know if the issues are going on until people tell me. Chuck, thank you so much for the stars. Thank you so much. Leandra, Sylvia, Victor, Frisco, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. April, thank you so much for the stars. Pat, Karen, Maria, Rebecca, Tammy, thank you so much as well for sharing. Thank you so much. I really do greatly appreciate it. All right, we have another caller here. We got two callers in. Okay, the last four on this first one I'm taking, the last four is 3289. The last four is 3289. All right, that's who I'm going to first, 3289. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Will. I'm Billy from Wisconsin. How are you?
Hey, Dave. How's it going? Tell me what you think about these docs. You think it's all legit? You think we're making a mountain out of a molehill?
Nope. I think the law should be applied correctly to the individual person. One had the right to declassify.
Correct.
One had no right to touch.
So why do you
think the laws the way they're written?
Right. So why do you think that the DOJ/FBI, they're treating Biden like he didn't do anything wrong and he's been cooperating, but they're treating President Trump like he is completely, was trying to sell nuclear codes? Why do you think there's that disconnect, or why do you think they're doing this?
This is all part of the same house. The DOJ, the FBI, the AG, they are all on Biden's side and biased at that. No matter how much they say, they try to be fair and even. That is not the fact. And their actions prove more than their words. So they're crucifying Trump because he's not part of their team.
Right.
Or they're trying to. They don't want to bring him back in. But I can tell you, like what was said a long, long time ago in 2007 by someone named Kim Clement, I'm going to put this man in the highest office of your land for 2 terms. That's what he said in a prophecy.
I know you're talking about. I used to have conversations with this one young lady that she lived in California, and she got upset with me because I said President Trump wasn't going to be there after 2022. because I saw what they were doing. And I'm not saying I'm not saying he won't come in the future, but she was arguing with me because she was saying that Kim was saying that he was going to be president twice, right? But she was under an impression that he was saying that he was going to be president back to back. Now I'm looking forward to President Trump to return. I really am. Yes,
the second term is promised. There was actually more to those prophecies than that lady understood. There was supposed to be chaos. He was to be set aside. I set him aside so that the chaos can happen, so that when he comes back, the things that need to happen in the second term are going to happen. In fact, one of the other prophecies that Kim said that in the midst of his terms, they will attempt to put a witch in the White House. And this will not happen.
Could you do me a favor? Could you send me that video clip?
Sure. Absolutely. I'll try and find it. And actually, there's a whole compilation, which would really be good for you, Will.
I've actually watched I think I've watched everything that he has out there. I really have. Just to be honest with you, but I haven't seen that particular one you just mentioned. That's the one I want to see, because like I said, I've gone out there. I've seen now. Also, like his daughter has been doing like a recap, and she's been playing a lot of them too. So I haven't seen the particular one that you're referring to. So I would love to see it. So if you could share it to me, I can give you my email address real quick before I let you go.
Okay. Let me something real quick here. Look how Paluch. And I have a pen. So what do you got?
It's a contact at uniteamericafirst.com.
Oh, that's easy.
That's pretty straight, right?
Contact at Unite America First.
What I'm gonna do is I'll put it in. I'm going to put it in the
chat. You have my
phone
number on that end? You have my phone number on that end. You can message me, too. In the ID. Just send me a text.
Okay.
And I'll get it to you, because I just got done watching that the latest compilation by Trey Smith, who's awesome. And he went through all of them. And the timeline is fantastic.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. So, so I just put my email in the chat, too, just in case if you didn't get it. Because some people put right. United, and it's not United. It's just Unite.
No, I know. It's Unite.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Unite. Like the old movie in the 70s about the rapture, they unite.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if you remember that or not. But
no,
Unite
I don't think I've seen that
United.
one. I don't think I've seen that one. Send that one to me too. Send that to me too.
Okay, I will. That you'd be surprised how true that was without the technology. Okay,
take a look at it. Hey, appreciate the call, Dave.
Have a good night.
All right, take care.
You bet. Bye bye.
All right, let's go to the next caller. 8315 is the last four. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Will. This is Denise, and I'm calling from Southeast Texas.
Hello,
how are
Denise.
You? I just want to say I love you, Will. I so love you so much. I listen to you every single day. Every day, at night. I listen. I love you.
I really appreciate it. You know what? We have to. Let me like this. I love the body of Christ, and I want to be a part of the body of Christ. And I love America, and I want to be part of the people in America that love freedom and that want to stand united with each other. And that's the reason why I do this, because we have to. This is the time we have to stand up. We can't be, we can't be on the outside looking in. We have to interject. We have to get in the game. So I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Arm in arm. Christians, we stand together.
Yes, absolutely. Is that it?
Yes, sir. That's it. I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything you do and putting the word out there. And I share your videos, and I keep everyone informed, and I let everyone know, and I invite them to go watch Will. Will is the best.
Well, I appreciate it. And thanks so much for the call.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. I think that's good. We're here at the end. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for not being afraid to share the video. I think I put a lot of good content in here, a lot of informative information that you can share with everyone because people need to know. People need to know. And if the Democrats, I'm telling you right now, they're going to try to do whatever they can to protect the Biden crime family because that's their MO. That's what they do. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. I will see you on the flip side. I'm going to go black.